Hi everyone, welcome back. This is week 33 of my social isolation get ready with me's. This week I decided to use the Too Faced Hot Buttered Rum palette because I had a video conference call with a lot of higher ups last week, and I used this palette to get made up for it. And I haven't done my makeup for work in a really long time, but I was really thankful that I put together a decent look because there was a lot of people on this call, and if I had shown up in like my sweatshirt with my dirty hair as I'm usually kind of, you know, sitting at home doing the working from home thing, I would not have looked that professional. So I wanted to bust out this palette and recreate the look that I did last week for the call. Once again, I've forgotten to show you the inside of the palette. So Too Faced Hot Buttered Rum palette came out, I think, for holidays last year. And it's a very warm toned neutral palette, but what I like about it is that it's got this fun yellow in here, and also this kind of like brown is usually like my type of brown color. It's got a little bit more red in it. So this was one of those things where I hadn't really planned on getting done up, and then I don't know what it was, but like the day of the call I was like, maybe I'd better do something about my hair and makeup. So I did, and I was so thankful that I'd put an effort in. There ended up being a lot of people on the call, probably like, I don't know, 50 or 75. So it's not like you could see everybody's video camera, but on the off chance that somebody could see me, at least I knew it looked good. And honestly, my cat, Nemo, decided that that day was going to be the day that he wanted to make an appearance on camera constantly. And he just kept stomping across my lap the entire time. Like my entire frame was mostly cat because he just came up to here all the time. It was really ridiculous. I mean, it was super cute, and I'm definitely not going to push my pet away during a conference call because this is his home, and not only would I feel awful if I moved my cat away, like, you know, like get away kind of thing on camera, but also, what would people even think of me if I did that? Like, if I saw somebody push their cat away while they were on a conference call, I would think that they were a horrible person. And honestly, that's something I would never do anyway. My cat wants to sit on me during a conference call, not a problem. You can sit your butt down. All right, for the crease, I'm gonna take buttered rum, which is that nice yellow color, and put that directly through the crease. So Halloween was this past weekend. It was on Saturday. You know, the clocks went back a full hour. There was it a full moon or a blue moon? And because it's 2020, it was the most boring Halloween I've ever had. I know I've talked about this a lot recently, but Halloween is one of my favorite holidays. I always look forward to it. I love doing costumes, but honestly, this year I was like, there's no point. I saw a lot of people dressing up on Instagram or taking pictures and stuff like that in costume, and good for them, but to me, without the like component of seeing all my friends and dressing up in a group costume, I didn't want to. I didn't really see the point, so that kind of blew. So I mostly just played video games. Went to bed super late. I did watch some Buffy Halloween episodes though at around 4 a.m. So that was kind of nice. But yeah, it was by far the quietest Halloween that I've had in a very, very long time. Okay, for the lid, I'm going to take Warm and Fuzzy here. The only fun thing about Halloween, and actually I guess this was kind of nice. So again, I play World of Warcraft pretty much constantly these days. And we had a Zul'Gurub raid that night, just for some catch-up gear and idols and stuff like that. That may not make sense for a lot of people. And I told the group, you know, like, come in costume. Like, find something in-game that you could put on or use to, like, make a costume. And it actually turned out to be a really fun raid. Zul'Gurub has been notoriously really painful for my team, but it was a good night. So that was kind of nice. Kind of nice when you tell people to come in costume and they actually put some sort of effort into it. I think Deviant Fish played a lot into that, but it was still kind of fun. I'm hopeful that Halloween by 2021 is going to be okay, but I have this like sinking feeling that 2021 is still not going to be okay, which is pretty depressing. All right, next I'm going to take Sin-ammon and pat that through the crease, or on the outer corner, and then pull it through the crease. Oh yeah, and the day that this video goes up, it's the US presidential election. What do I even say? I mean, I guess that most people by now will acknowledge the fact that I'm definitely not a Republican. I mean, I'm in Canada, so we don't have the same parties. But in Canada, I'm very liberal or NDP minded, which is somewhat in line, I guess, with the Democrats in the US. And I am really scared for the US election. I hear such varying things about it. Now, I don't follow politics that well, so it's not like I've got that much information. But the one thing I keep thinking is that the US didn't do very good last year in particular, 2020 in particular, with all of the cases. Trump has been an embarrassment on a global scale. I mean, people who can deny that, I don't know, frankly, what's wrong with you, because he is an embarrassment. So I can't imagine that anybody who voted for him 4 years ago, who was on the fence and thought maybe he could make a difference, would have seen the last 4 years and been like, yeah, I still want to keep him, right? Like, those people on the fence, I feel like they're going to be like, oh, heck no, time to abandon ship and go to the Democrats. But at the same time, I don't know, like, technically, didn't Hillary win the popular vote last time? And she still lost out, even though she had more votes? I don't really understand the Electoral College, other than it seems to really not work out very well. Okay, next I'm going to take a little bit of spiked here and just put that on the very outer corner. My friend who follows politics a lot more than me said that a lot of the predictions were saying that it was going to be well, I have to get this right. Democrats are blue, right? Because in Canada, red is liberal, which they're sort of like-minded. So I have to keep reminding myself that they're flipped. So my friend was saying that he thinks, or a lot of the predictions are going to be that it's going to be a blue wave more than we actually anticipated. And to me, that feels like really wishful thinking, because that's what I want to see happen, but I don't know if that's what's going to happen. And honestly, no matter what happens, I think it's going to be a very terrifying time in the US. Which isn't to say that all that has happened in the last year has not been terrifying, but I can't imagine. If Trump loses, his fanatics are going to go nuts. If Trump wins again, like, I would like to think that the Democrats would lose their mind, but at the same time, I mean, I don't know what to say, actually. I would be very, very scared for people and their rights in the US. And maybe I better stop there, because I don't know if I'm saying the right things right now. How on earth do I transition out of that? Put more eyeshadow on, I guess. I'm going to take vanilla extract and use that as my brow bone highlight shade. Okay, so for this look, I did put on a winged liner. I didn't make it too big, though, because I didn't want it to, I don't know, overtake the entire look, because I really just like the eyeshadows by themselves. But I know on a conference call or on video, if you add that like bit of a black line around your eyes, it does accentuate them more, so I did want to do that. So of course I'm using my Physicians Formula Eye Booster. Okay, we'll finish up the eyes in a little bit, but let's do the face first. I didn't know that I wanted to use my INGLOT Beautifier Tinted Cream because it's been the best match for me recently, but I also wanted to add a little bit more coverage and matteness for camera. This sounds really intense for like a video conference call, but these are the things that went through my head as I was putting my makeup together. So I decided to mix this with my Too Faced Peach Perfect Comfort Matte Foundation. I do have the shade Snow. It's quite pale for me right now, and it does have a tendency to wash me out, but it's got the matteness that I wanted, so I decided to mix the two of these together. So it also snowed the day after Halloween, which made, or was it that night? Oh, I can't remember now. It was either the day after or the night of Halloween, and it made me so happy. I freaking love snow. And it's so funny because every year it snows around Halloween and people in Ontario just like freak out as if this doesn't happen every year. So it did snow a little bit. It stuck on the ground. I went for a run and it was still there. That was kind of nice. I mean, it's melting quickly because it is supposed to go up to like 16 or 17 degrees by Thursday, which the temperature is just bananas at this time of year, right? You never know if you should wear a jacket outside, because if you wear one, you'll be too hot. But if you don't wear one, you'll definitely be too cold. So I'm looking forward to snow. I am kind of just looking forward to like decorating for Christmas. And honestly, I've said this before, I'm not a until December 1st kind of person for Christmas decoration. But I really can't wait because I don't really have anything to look forward to right now. Like Halloween is done. I really don't care about New Year's. And there's nothing happening next year yet. Which reminds me, I do actually need to rebook a flight that was canceled for September. We were supposed to go to Norway and Sweden. And I have until like December 31st, I think, to rebook for next year. The the same time, I'm like, even if I book for September next year, are things going to be safe? I don't think so. But if I don't rebook it, I'll lose that credit, so I might as well do that on the off chance that things are going to be okay. So I started looking at Christmas trees to buy online today because I really want to put a white Christmas tree in the sunroom. I think it'll look not only pretty in videos because I'll have it in the background, but also the sunroom is white. It's kind of like a peaceful looking place where the cats sleep during the day mostly. And I just want to have a white tree in there. And there's one on sale right now at Canadian Tire for like $200 that's like pre-lit. And I was like, okay, yes. But then I looked at how much shipping was going to be. And I thought, okay, over $50, over $100, it's going to be free shipping, right? No, it's like $28. And I'm like, why? I'm spending enough money. I think it should be free, but I guess not. And honestly, if I went to go pick it up in stores, I'd have to pay for an Uber to get me back with the box anyway. So I guess I'm going to pay for that frigging shipping, but I really didn't want to spend that because I thought it should be free at that price point. Maybe that's just me. Okay, for bronzer end, I'm going to use the same highlighter in here. I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow. And I'm just taking the, I guess it's called the Sculpt side, but I'm using it as a bronzer. Oh no, I forgot a step already. Whew. All right, so I wanted to set my face, which is something I never do, but I thought, you know, on the off chance that I start to look oily on screen, at least I'll have some sort of powder filter. Also, the other reason I wanted to powder is because I never used this thing, and it was expensive. This is probably, is it? It might be the most expensive product that I own, because I think I spent about $110 on this stupid thing. How ridiculous, right? So this is the Guerlain Meteorites from, who even knows what holiday at this point. It's the Flocons Enchantés, which is just enchanted snowflakes. So what's cute about this is not only does it have the normal balls, but there's also little stars in here too, which I think is really sweet. And I honestly just dump my brush in there and then just whack it on my face. I don't use powder products on my face like this very much, so if I'm doing it wrong, I don't know. Okay, now I'm going in with the bronzer. I need to use this one more. I really like the tone of it. And then for blush, I'm using the Essence Silky Touch blush in the shade Autumn Peach. I think I mentioned this one recently in another video. I love the shade of this. They don't make it anymore, but it's a winner. And then for highlighter, back into the Charlotte Tilbury one, and I'm using the highlight side. Okay, that is face done. Let's zoom you back in and we'll finish up the eyes. So one thing I do want to change with the eyes this time is that I went way too heavy underneath my eyes for camera, and it just ended up looking a little bit too Instagram-y in comparison to what I wanted to look like. Ugh. Foundation on the lips, what a good look. So I'm going to try to make it a little bit more soft. So I'm just going to take a fluffy brush and go into, what are you called again? Sin-ammon, tap it off, and then just rub a little bit along the lower lash line. I just want this to be basically that, a pale haze. I don't want to blow it out, which is what I did by accident. And I was not happy with that aspect of the look. And then for my waterline, I wanted that to stand out and look quite bright. I'm using my INGLOT Kohl pencil in the shade 05. I've been doing this a lot lately, but it really is a standby look for me. Standby look? Is that the right? No, staple look. That's what I'm going for. Been really bad about like screwing up my metaphors lately, or like my sayings and whatnot. I've been saying the weirdest things at times. For mascara, I'm using the Milk Makeup Kush Mascara. And then one thing I truly just ran out of time to do, but I would have done it if I'd had time to put false lashes on, I wanted to put on the House of Lashes Au Naturel lashes. Now, these don't look enormous, which is kind of what I wanted, but again, I just did not have time to apply lash glue and let them sit while I was getting ready for the call. But these don't look like much, which is really nice, so they just add a little bit of an oomph. So you can see a comparison now. I've got one lash on here, and this one is just my natural lashes with mascara. And I do like how it gives a little bit of extra oomph, but it's not excessive, right? Like it's not like some of the lashes I can put on at times where it's like basically hitting my eyebrow. Like that's too much for me for work, for a conference call. And I never wear false lashes to work, by the way. But for a call where you want to show your features a little bit better, this will add a little bit of extra definition. Oh, and I almost forgot, for the inner corner of my eye, I'm going in with whipped cream right here. Just add a little light. Okay, I will do my eyebrows and then I'll be right back and we'll finish up with the lips. Okay, so for lips, I don't always talk about this, but if I'm wearing lipstick on the day-to-day, like going to the office or going out at night, I always use a lip primer. And the one that works for me the best is MAC's Prep and Prime for Lips. Now, what you do with this, and it just looks like, I don't know, like a white stick really. What you do is you apply it all over your lips. I go a little past my lip line because I don't want my lip color to bleed out because I have a lot of problems with lip line bleed out. Pencils don't work for me, blotting doesn't work for me, powder over top of my lipstick does not work for me, only this works for me. And it helps if I create a little bit of a barrier just outside of my lip line so that the color doesn't seep upwards. And what you do is you put this on and then you let it dry for about 2 minutes until it gets a little bit tacky. If you just put this on and put your lip color on right away, it's not going to do anything. It basically acts like a balm. But when you let it dry a little bit, it turns into a little bit of a tacky glue-like substance. It's not like glue, but it's just got a bit of a more grippy base. So that's it on. I did go over my lip line. I just let it set for 2 minutes and then I go in with my lip color. Okay. So my lips are a little bit tacky now, so I'm going to go in with my lip color, and I'm using the MAC and Toledo shade Barbecue. This came out a few years ago. The smell on this is starting to go, so I should probably get rid of it soon, but it's a gorgeous color, and I thought it went really well with this look. So I always put my lip color on really roughly to start with, and then I always go in with a lip brush just because I cannot get precise lines straight out of the bullet. So what I always do after I've done like a rough shape is I'll go in with the brush to the bullet and then just carve out my lip shape. So that's with the lip brush, and I found before I started using a lip brush, I always had these like weird little bumps where the bullet would like catch on. I guess there was dry skin on my lips, but even if I exfoliated, it would still catch on little edges around my lips. So I just found that the lip brush really helps to smooth out the line and makes it a lot more precise. And even though it feels rather excessive to have to use a lip brush to do my lipstick, like honestly, I would prefer to just be able to swipe it on and be okay. But it doesn't look good enough in my opinion, so I do much prefer using a lip brush. So this is the look that I wore on the conference call with my coworkers and colleagues and all that. And one of my actual coworkers did say, "Oh my God, you look like a model." And I was like, okay, that was the nicest compliment, and I'm really glad that I did my makeup for this call now. And I do really enjoy using the Hot Buttered Rum palette by Too Faced. It is one of those more neutral palettes that just screams a little bit more me, and I think it's just down to the fact that the yellow and the more it's not really, I guess it is more of a red tone brown, just kind of appeal much more to me. So that's going to be it for this look. Thank you so much for joining me for week 33. I hope you're staying happy, safe, and healthy, and I will see you next time. Bye.